Johnson said, building structure and system. Good. And Facom says, building structure and system. Can we see how many structure and systems we are having in here? A lot of structures, a lot of systems we are having. You now see how important it is for us. It is for us as a coach. Without the proper structure in place, without the systems in place, we will only struggle. We will struggle without systems and structure in place. But imagine the institute helping you, giving you the tools and the structure, and all you need to do is that you saw, that you start experiencing fulfillment just from serving, from a place of passion. And now, okay, I have a Zoma here from Enugu. Thank you for, this is your first time participant. Wow. Okay, let me just give you a cheer there. Ozoma, welcome. So you can see the chat box is already lit up from their takeaway for yesterday. Talked about building structures. And again, Humat says, be sure of the value I'm giving and stop getting too busy. I should master my skill. Wow. Director of Studies, you have amazing students in here. They are just giving it, they are just teaching it the way you delivered yesterday. Wow. So Gracie say, being competent and confident in my area of interest. Kai, see, you're just capturing it how yesterday was. It's just taking me, it's like I'm flipping through the car. I'm just watching the feed of how yesterday went. And this is beautiful. Public health practitioner. Wow, great. Okay, Uzoma, welcome. Thank you. Now, have you seen that just from yesterday, we were able to learn this. From yesterday, we could understand that system matters. From yesterday, we could understand that mindset, that belief, that limiting belief that we should be giving for free is no longer there. So imagine what you are going to be hearing from tonight. Wow, I'm so pleased, and I know the queen. In the queen equally reading through this chat box. She's also thrilled that we got this. I just want to believe. Let me check if she's here before I can bring her on. She's going to believe that you too. She understood that she wasn't just talking to herself, but indeed we were touched. Indeed, we learned from last night's session. So I think please do help me check if the coach if Director of Studies is in the room. I'm trying to check out if she's here while I check the comments. So please, I can see this. Okay, being competent. If imagine you starting out and not knowing what to do. And the Institute is here to give you a helping hand, to lead you across, to let you cross that bridge that has been holding you down, to let you move past those fears that has been holding you. This is it. This is it. This is exactly what you are getting. I want to check, very soon I'll be bringing our facilitator for tonight on, but I want to check and be sure that she is here. Just give me a moment while I check through the comments here, the chat box, sorry, for participants to ensure that the queen is in the house. Okay, Portia said, my best quote from yesterday is what you persecute, you give audacity to grow. You see, that's part of the ethics. The queen had already given you the cue of the ethics that you need to embrace as a practitioner if you must soar in this practice. Remember, this webinar is tagged SOAR and it's being hosted. This webinar is tagged SOAR and it's being hosted by the Institute of Family Systems and Development. So in case you've been wondering, who is hosting this webinar? It's the Institute of Family Systems and Development. And this is where you get to understand all about your engineering, all about your client's engineering. Now, while I wait to bring out one of us who is going to share with you their lessons, I want you to also understand that you can have your sessions and you go in with confidence, just knowing that you've been equipped to do it. And that's what the Institute has done. Okay, so I have Dr. Israel in the house, and shortly, Dr. Israel will be telling you his IFET story. So I'll be bringing Dr. Israel on to share his story with you now. Thank you, Doctor, for coming online.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you, Doctor, and I want to believe every other person is hearing you too.
Okay. Thank you so much. It's nice and great to be here. Can I go on? All right. So good evening, everybody. It's great to be here. I'm so happy and so glad to share my FFed story with everyone listening to me here. The 30 weeks has been a mind-blowing experience. And I will start it this way. I've been in marriage and relationship ministry for close to about 15 years now. And along the line, immediately after the COVID, I became fully certified. And I was able to certify almost 30 people around my environment here. And they were all certified and they all had their certificate, which was quite encouraging as of that point. Immediately after that, I made up my mind to go for my PhD and in leadership and strategic management. And along the line, I came across IFED. I thought I was doing well and everything was okay. I was running my training and I was being invited to places, public sector, private sector, and churches and ministries. And I came across IFED and it seems I knew absolutely nothing. That was one major thing that just blew my mind. Despite all my attainments, okay, the training and everything, I thought discovered that, look, the 30 weeks just completely blew my mind, completely. All the facilitators were deep and highly professional. PM was simply amazing when he came up with his own modules. I can conveniently go into therapy and family engineering now because I was able to complete my training successfully a few days ago. So I'm so glad to be part of the entire team and the Institute. It was really deep. I now know the difference between code and code. When we were taught about the health therapy we are taking through, and I listened to all my colleagues' testimonies, it was mind-blowing. Everybody was taken back to the past, where the hurt took place, where the pain came from. And we were taken back to the present, to the point that you are now able to heal completely. We can now understand all our temperaments, why we behave the way we do. It was so deep, it was so detailed, it was so life transforming, sincerely speaking, personally. I've been able to apply it to my family. I've been able to apply it to several other people around me, especially when I was running my assessment during the training. I was able to get abroad to several couples and they were able to fill my assessment and they were able to return it. And it was just eye-opening, including the singles and the married. It was really eye-opening. The healing model was just something out of this world, sincerely speaking. So IFED has really given me life. It has given me the necessary tools to become a blessing to families. And I want to say a big thank you to all the staff. I want to say a big thank you to PF. I want to say a big thank you to the principal. I want to say a big thank you to everyone that put this thing together to make this life a reality. So apart from all the training I have in the
We lost the doctor there. I don't know if it's network, but we lost the doctor there. You can hear it yourself. See, everything the doctor said you can hear it yourself. You can hear, it's not just a hearsay, it may say it's facts, it's the truth, it's experience. And I tell you, I experienced same. And everyone that went through, that has gone through the academy, has unique and mind-blowing stories and testimonial to give. So without delay, the queen is in the house. The queen is in the room already. So I'll be bringing her on. This powerhouse of knowledge is ready to deliver practical strategies to you tonight. She's here to equip you with the tools. Okay, sorry. She's here to equip you with the tools. So get ready to have the queen tonight. And please, the spotlight is off me because I don't want to delay the queen. Welcome, welcome, Ma. It's a pleasure having you in the house tonight.
Thank you, Blessing. Thank you, Dr. Israel, for that testimony, and for everybody who is here. Thank you. And I hope that we had a great time. So where is everyone? I'm saying that the numbers have dropped from the people who had yesterday. So if you had a friend, a colleague, anybody who you know was here yesterday and is not here, just reach out to them to say, you know what? We will be discussing those new rules that we talked about. And I'm sure you've been reflecting on how it went. So let's quickly move on. I wanted to take some reflections, but I think that that has been done already. So let's begin to look at the kind of mindsets that can jeopardize your growth and your success in this field. So we're looking at common mindsets. Okay, some have gone to YouTube. Oh, okay, they were having technical problems. Thank you, Louisa, for that. So let's look at common mindsets that could sabotage your progress as a passionate family life practitioner. So if you look at it, what do you think for yourself? What do you think may have been the mindset that has been shortchanging you, that has been sabotaging you? Because I'm going to just go through a bit of them. Or then maybe yesterday when we were going through the class yesterday, you may have identified it. It's important that you know the mindset you have, because your beliefs, what you believe about yourself, what you believe about the practice will definitely influence your behaviors. You know, a lot of people could be doing this. Oh, they say that when you are posting on social media, people will know you, and they say when you are doing this. But fundamentally, have you checked what you believe about yourself and this practice? Because we know from the concept of self-fulfilling prophecy that what we believe has a way of manifesting itself, because it will influence your behaviors, it will influence the results you have. And you will now come back and say, I said it. You know, people don't pay for coaching, people don't pay for stuff like this. And even if you're out there putting out stuff, you are not doing it with a deep conviction that you can attract the kind of people that will pay you. And then when they don't pay you, it goes back to, I said it, I don't know how these people are doing it, or maybe they're lying. Or you could think that there is no need for this. Anybody could just read their holy books, just be of good behavior, and they get their stuff sorted out. But Dr. Israel has told you about the depth of the healing work that FSC will do for you. So like I said, at the root of the struggles of many professionals are certain beliefs that if you do not uninstall them, they will continue to sabotage your efforts to help people create change. Because your desire as a passionate family life professional is to help people attain bliss, is to help people resolve their marital issues, create the change required, and live better lives. Is to help children become more responsible. So what are some of those beliefs that could be standing in your way? Number one, family life practice does not pay well. And that is one fundamental belief that if you do not address it, can sabotage the possibilities of what you're earning. And it could be for any reason. Maybe somebody has told you, forget that one. Or maybe you have tried over and over and you feel like you're not making money from it. But do you hold this belief? You need to drop it. You need to face it and address it. Secondly, is that people say that family life practice is a gift from God and so cannot be learned from any school. I woke up today and somebody was sharing with me, a respectable person, saying that, you know what, there's no need for marriage therapy. There's no need for that. That all we need to do is just go into the scriptures and find what God is saying about marriage. And I began to wonder, why is it that then there are people who are faithful followers of God, but then they're having issues in their relationships? Because contrary to what people think, family life practice is not just a gift per se. It's not just the gift of, oh, you can talk. It's a science. The same way people go to school to read, you can't just say, oh, because I'm passionate about helping people advocate for their causes, I'm going to now go to the chambers. I'll go to court and say I want to represent someone. You're not going to be admitted because you have to be trained. No matter how passionate you are about the health of people, nobody is going to give you an employment in a reputable hospital to come and, work with people, even if you have the gift of healing. You are going to have to be trained in a medical school. That's the same way we need to embody that family life science is a science, is a study. People go to schools and spend years studying it, get certified, do their defense. In fact, in the institute, when you take our training, you don't just go ahead and say, oh, I'm a certified family life practitioner. No, you're going to do your field work, workmanship like the doctors will do. And then after that, you still show up to the panel before the defense to demonstrate your mastery of the approach. It is only then that you are labeled a certified practitioner, because we recognize that it's not just a gift of passion. It's not just something that you know because, oh, I know how to talk. No, it's a science. You have to learn about behavior modification. You have to learn psychology. You have to learn different aspects of human life to be a good family life practitioner. And so if you believe that, oh, nobody can teach me that, that is a limiting belief that would keep you where you currently are. Another belief that people have is that I cannot be a good family life professional if you are not married or if you are divorced. If you agree with me that family life science is a body of study, it does not have anything to do with my personal experience. It is understanding how human beings want to be loved, what makes human beings fall off from grace, what makes people do the things that they do. Then it means that if somebody is trained in that science, the person can be a good family life professional. It's like saying that somebody who has been trained as an obstetrician cannot deliver a woman of a child because the person has never been in labor themselves or have not had a child. It has nothing to do with that. It's skills, it's methodologies that are taught, and as much as you practice them, you master them. We've had people who have come to take our training who were single. In fact, we have people who have been once married, who are divorced, who are trained family life practitioners, and they are working with people and producing results because it's not about your experience. Even if somebody gets divorced, the reason why you got divorced may not be the reason why another person got divorced. So family life practice is a science, and you can be a professional whether you are married or you're not. And some people's limiting belief is that they say that all you need is a foreign certification for your practice to be recognized. That is not completely true. It's a limiting belief because like Dr. Israel has shared in today's testimonial, he's gone to do other, certifications, which has added to the body of knowledge. But even FSC, Family Systems Engineering, is Africa originated, created by Africans, and is now being exported. Like I did say yesterday, we have our practitioners across the globe using this methodology and creating results. So it's not only a foreign certification that you need to be recognized. Next is that some people say, oh, I don't have enough capacity to help others. Who am I? I've not even fixed my own self. I've not even done that. Have you seen doctors who are smokers? Yet they are working with people who have cardiological issues. If you understand that every one of us is growing, we're a work in progress, but if you master the approach, you can help somebody. It's not about you. So you want to first of all address, what is that thing about me that makes me feel little? What is that thing about me that makes me feel insignificant? Maybe you need to sit with a therapist. Maybe you need to sit with someone to really extract what is at the core of your self-esteem issues that makes you feel that you are not capable enough. And the last one, very dicey one, is that some people say that you need a lot of social media followers to attract enough paying clients. While social media is fantastic, in fact, is a market for today, but we still have people who are doing great work that do not have fantastic social media following. That is not to put it down, that is not important. But then you can be on social media and you don't even have the skills to produce results. People come to you and then they say, oh, all he does is just advice, advice, advice. He didn't even help me get to the root of the matter. Soon word will spread and they'll just know this one is just talk. They'll just come and play around on your page, but nobody is going to, want to contract you to do the work. So while social media is good, it's important also that you have expertise, that you have tools that you can use that will support you. So as you're growing your visibility, then you also have a track record of social proof of the work that you have done with people. So I don't know what may be your own beliefs that may have been holding you down, but it's important that you address them. It's important that you identify them, such that you are able to ask yourself, is this belief helping me? What I believe about myself and what I currently believe about my practice, how is that helping me? If it's not helping me, what do I need to believe? Because until you are able to make change from the base of beliefs, you will not be able to sustain the behaviors that will give you the results you want. Even in FSC, we have a robust belief assessment, belief compatibility assessment for the couples themselves. Because many people go into the field, you want to help a couple. They're having issues about money. They're having issues about leadership. They're having issues about control or extended family members. And you just go telling them, you need to do this, you need to do this. You need to first of all check their beliefs. Because unknown to them, unconsciously, their beliefs is what is making them behave the way they are behaving. So any change you want to make happen for anybody, if you don't first of all address it from the point of belief, you will not be able to help the person make any progressive, sustainable change. And so that is the same with you and your practice. If you do not sit down and ask yourself, what are my beliefs about myself as even a practitioner? In terms of my mindset about my worthiness to do this job and my belief in myself that I have what it takes to produce results. What are my beliefs about the industry? Do I believe that this is a viable industry? Do I believe that this is an industry that is scalable? What are my beliefs about sustainable results that I'm able to create for my clients? And then when you write them down, you are able to look at them. Are these beliefs serving me? If they are not, it means that you need to adopt a new belief. And when you adopt a new belief, now you can now create action steps to install that new belief such that the behaviors or the things you're doing on the outside as a practitioner can now make meaning, because at the base of it, it is sitting on an empowering, helpful belief. So I don't know if you've identified any beliefs for you that is sabotaging you, but right about now, let's begin to look at the new rules of family life practice, because things have changed. You're not going to just sit in your room and expect clients to come to you. You are not going to just keep dishing out advice and people will get tired and they are not coming anymore, because it's like this person is just talking his experience without even recognizing my pain, without even recognizing where I'm coming from. So today we will be looking at those new rules. The first rule, so we've done this. The first rule of the new rule of family life practice is the law of borderlessness. You must be able to work with your clients from everywhere that you are. So how do you activate this? The law of borderlessness. Are you able, can you work with a Nigerian who was born abroad and then is having issues with another Nigerian, for example, who was raised here? Or are your tools and your methodologies just cultural tools? Oh, our culture says, and the boy over there is saying, what do you mean, excuse me? Can the tools you have for your work, can you work with somebody who is Asian that doesn't even believe what you believe as a Nigerian or an African, but you are able to help that couple create the change that you want because you have tools that work, that are universal, tools that are based on human psychology, tools that are based on what makes human beings do the things that they do, tools that can produce transformational change because they are tools that take into cognizance how people were engineered, take into cognizance emotional intelligence, take into cognizance behavioral modification, take into cognizance the science of love and all of that. So that's the first rule, the rule of borderlessness. That you can be here and you have clients who are living outside of Nigeria and they can relate with you. Your solutions make sense to them because it is not dipped into your culture, but it's just about human beings and what to make a human being do better. So if all the tools you have is just to talk to the people in your village, if all the tools you have is just to talk to the people of your religious circle, how borderless are your tools? Can you work with somebody who is of a different religious inclination with you and you are able to produce results? Or will you be taken aback because all of the solutions you have is just quoting your holy books? Will you be able to work with somebody who has never experienced what you have experienced because of the borderlessness of those tools? That is the first rule, that your tools must be borderless. You should be able to work with them from anywhere, with anybody that is a human being created in the image and likeness of God. Then the second rule of the new rules of family life practice is the law of accurate and speedy diagnosis. Attention span is fast eroding, like it's diminishing by the day. So if you have a client and you have to spend hours talking to just understand what is happening with the client will be burnt out. You yourself will be burnt out. Imagine if you are supposed to talk with 2 clients or 4 clients in a day, and it takes you 3 hours to even understand what is happening to the clients. And you do that for 4 clients, that's 12 hours now. The day, I don't even know, can you do 4 clients in a day with that system? So it's not sufficient to have tools to assist your clients. The speed and accuracy of your diagnostic tools makes a world of difference. So do you have to sit with your clients before you are able to diagnose what is happening with them? But with FSC, we have our psychometric tools, where even somebody is having issues or they need intervention, before you even sit to listen to them, you administer the assessment to them, and then you write your report and send to them. Then when they are sitting with you, many times, people are like, how did you know this was happening? Oh my God, you just hit it on the neck. It's as if you live in our home. It's because you have used tools, you have used your diagnostic tools to work with them. And we named the set of psychometric tools Oyela, coming from the Yoruba language. And for those of us who are Yoruba, you know what Oyela means. It's like divination. It's like illumination. Somebody that shows you yourself. And that is what you will get when you use the tools. And they're like, oh my goodness, you just described my husband. Oh my goodness, it's as if you know what is happening in our marriage. And it has over 95% accuracy. So it reduces the time spent in finding, okay, so he did this, he did that. But once you administer the Oyela tools, the Oyela diagnostic assessments and evaluations, and you write your report, then you have recommendations to make for them. And they are most times willing to take on the recommendations because you have described their situation even better than they had words to describe it. So the law of accuracy and speedy diagnosis is why you are losing your clients to FSC trained practitioners. Because whilst you spend time talking and talking, an FSC trained practitioner would administer the tools, the person feels this person gets me. Oh, this person understands what is happening. And they will dish you and go to the person who has the tools to help them. The third law is the law of motion sensitivity. You see, many of the dreams you have for your family life practice, many of the products you want to launch, many of the courses you want to design, many of the interventions you feel, oh, I want to do this for this, I want to do this for that, it's not only dropping in your head. It's like God spreads his ideas, and the person with the fastest finger is the person who does the work. So motion sensitivity is the intentional signaling. How do you signal? How do you rake people into you? In the language of business marketing, they call it funnel marketing. How are you able to see from the crowd people who don't even know that they have issues, and you make them realize the issues they are having, such that they become interested in what you're offering. And then from them, you build them into a community. And from the community, you turn them into people committed to your message, to your movement. And from there, you make them core people who will buy from you. That is the law of motion sensitivity. Because in the past, it's people that walk into maybe religious homes or maybe to elders to say, oh, there's this thing happening in my marriage. There's this thing happening in my life. But these days, you must be able to master how to go and get your clients to intentionally bring them in. I can't begin to tell you, and how everything is how you are able to showcase your brand and what you represent. I can't begin to tell you people who have said to me and my husband that, oh, why I settled for you was I went to your social media and I saw your lifestyle. I saw how you relate with yourselves. I saw how you relate with your children. In fact, a mother said to her son and the wife getting married, the fiancé, I want you to, so these are the people that I recommend that will do a good job with you for marriage preparation. But I want you to make your choice. And then they came back to their mom and said, oh, we're choosing to work with Dima and Nidum. And she was curious. We didn't know this until they were sharing their testimonial with us. That what convinced them to go with us was by going to our Facebook page. And the kind of life they saw us modeling there was the kind of life they want to have in their marriage and even with their children. So your intentional signaling is not only when you carry microphone or when you are talking and say, marriage did this. Your intentional signaling is also the life that you're living. It's also the message that you're putting out there. It's also the ways that you're showing up in your business. There is a methodology for attracting paying customers. So it's not enough to say, people are not paying, I'm every day on social media. No, just being on social media does not bring paying clients. There's a methodology to it because you have to groom them. You have to make them to know you, first of all, to like you, and to trust you, and trust you with their lives and their money. That is when you have a constant stream of paying clients. So how sensitive is your motion? How intentional is your signaling? We come to social media and we see diverse things. Every day there's one story of one marriage collapsing, one person just talking nonsense. But then the people who are passionate about family life, we're hiding away. We don't want to showcase so that they will not say, hey, is it only you? Or oh, all these people that are pretending that they are happy in marriage. Or like somebody told me, you have to stop showcasing yourself because people might throw arrows at you. They might attack your marriage. And I said, they never born the person, because even me, myself, I'm the attacker. Because if you know who you are and you know the God that you serve, you will not be overwhelmed by flimsy threats that carry no weight. Then the law of constant and never-ending improvement. Like we did share yesterday, all that you know is not all there is to know. There is so much more. New research is coming up every day. 2 days ago, I bumped into a research that was talking about the importance of having spouses exchanging morning kiss before they leave the home. So over the years, I've been teaching people about having intentional rituals, having what I call intentional rituals. But then I did not know that a research had been done on it. So that was added learning for me. That people who spend time, even if it is 6 minutes, 6 seconds kiss with their spouses, it has shown that with the control group, with the research that was done, that for such men who do that, it adds an extra 4 to 5 years to their lifespan. But if I was like, I've been doing marriage for 15 years, I would not have learned that new thing. So every day, there must be a ritual you have as a family life practitioner to learn new things, to add to your knowledge. Because the more you know, the more you can help people create change. Because the rate of new information is faster than usual. And sometimes you can't even learn everything alone. That's why you need a community of people who are on the same path with you, where that promotes continuous development and innovative tools. And once you become a practitioner of family systems engineering, automatically you are invited to join the community. And every day people are bringing, I'm handling this case and I'm stuck here. I need help here. And practitioners share ideas. Or there are topical issues happening, is brought there, is analyzed, and people learn better. So nobody can be a thriving practitioner in isolation. You must belong to a community. And God help you, let it be a community that is innovative, a community that is forward-moving, not a community stuck in the past. Because like somebody said, if you are a friend of 5 fools, there are 6 fools because you are the next one. And like Jim Rohn said to us, you are the average of the top 5 people that you spend time with. So ask yourself, as an aspiring or existing family life practitioner, I'm passionate about marriage. How many people in your circle are passionate about marriage? That are forward-moving, that are progressive, that you share ideas from, that you tap from. Then the law of audacity. Ideas are placed on a frequency. That was the thought I started to share earlier. And it responds to the person with the fastest finger, with enough audacity to fill the space in the value chain. Remember, we talked about the value chain yesterday. And this example I'm giving, I am not in any way speaking to the person's messaging or whatever, but there are figures currently in Nigeria that many people are saying, what's this person talking about? What is this? What is that? But every day, the person shows up with audacity and is becoming popular. Then the people who feel that they have sense, they know the moving thing. Nobody knows about you. Nobody is hearing about you. You're not doing anything. And this young man is showing up, is doing stuff, he's getting popular not only in Nigeria and across the globe. And we're saying, what is it? What are all these powers? But the powers are being shared with audacity. You that feel that you know the powers of the powers, what have you done? And I don't know if you have ever been at a time where you had an idea and then you were like, oh, trying to fine-tune the idea. Oh, I'll do this next year. I'll do this next month. And then you come out and somebody has launched the idea and you're like, eh? Because ideas are placed on the frequency. It's like God just brings ideas and just scatters it. And the person who grabs it and runs with it is the person that launches it. So it doesn't matter if the idea has been in your head for 10 years. What did you do with it? And then when you show up with the idea, are you showing up? Let them not say, oh, what if they do? Oh, no, but every day we are sharing broadcasts of people who are audacious, saying stuff with audacity. And you are wondering, what is this person talking about? But the person, it's popular and is making waves. But you that know what you are talking about, what are you doing with what you know? So the law of audacity is, for me, the central law that unlocks every other law. Once you tap into the law of audacity, you can make change happen. And you are moving with the audacity with sense. And God help you, the audacity should be matched with value. Interestingly, even people who do not have value, even people who do not have sustainability, they are audaciously making noise and gaining visibility. How much more when you now match the audacity with results? You now match the audacity with a template that works. You now match the audacity with motion sensitivity. You match the audacity with continuous learning and development. You match the audacity with law of borderlessness. That means your practice will be borderless. That means the things you are able to achieve will just be left to imagination. So I don't know if there's somebody here who has not been audacious, somebody here who has been afraid, somebody here who has been holding themselves down because of one limiting belief. If the only thing you get to do today is to embrace audacity, do that. Because that is how you can make a mark. Nobody winking. I was driving sometime along Airport Road and I saw this billboard and it just stuck in my head. There is, I can't quote it how it is, I can't remember, but it's something around, there is no gain in winking in the dark. Because no matter the different styles of winks that you do in the dark, nobody's seeing it. So it pays nothing to be winking in the dark. It pays you nothing to be playing small. It pays you nothing to be playing safe. In fact, have you seen how people are using controversial posts to even attract attention? Sometime last month or 2 months ago, I just said, let me do an experiment. And I shot a video. And in the video, I was saying 5 things you need to do so that your man can run to your father's house and go and pay your bride price. And I said, number 1, you must apologize to him when he's angry. Number 2, you must beg him. I just said 5 stupid things. Number 3, you must quit your job and go and stay at home and be answering him, sir. But that so far this year is my one video that has gotten the most engagement. Because while some people did not listen to the end, because at the end I now said, if you believe any of these things that I said, what you need is deliverance. Because I just wanted that to draw attention. And some people came and were engaging. Some were like, I need deliverance myself. Some were like, God punish you even with your white hair, because I was not wearing wig. I was wearing my gray hair. Even with your gray hair, you don't have sense. But that brought people. And then they began to look at the other things that I've said. So what are you doing? What audacious move are you willing to be unpopular and take controversial things and give insights to it? But your insight must be insight that is scalable and that can produce results. So which of these rules do you need to activate? Quickly, come to the chat room. Which of these rules do you think is currently lacking in your practice? Hello, I need to come to the chat and see. Yes, we have over 85 people. Talk to me. Which of these rules are you? Somebody says law of audacity. Thank you for that. Any other person? 2 people, somebody is concurring. I need some more. Law of audacity, law of audacity, law of audacity, Jahara, audacious, fantastic. So my question to you today is, are you willing to learn a methodology, a framework? Because you know, audacity is backed by confidence. You know, when I advertise the things that I'm doing, I most of my offers, I put 100% money backed guarantee. And I said, your 100% money back guarantee, your money will be refunded without any questions. If the things this solution promises to give you, it does not give you. What makes somebody confident to put 100% money back guarantee? It is because that solution has been tested and proven. And why am I saying that? It is that the law of audacity rides on confidence of your competence, So it's one thing to be audacious and audaciously be talking rubbish. It's another thing to be audacious with a backing that I know that this solution works, because there is a proven track record of it working. So for all of us who have chosen to be audacious, fantastic. In fact, January this year, when my team and I were meeting, we narrowed, again, and our company values, audacity is one of the values. And then we looked at our values as an organization, and we said, you know what, this one value is the value that we performed the least in the last financial year. So this financial year, our value of focus, without losing sight on the other ones, is audacity. And so if you're going to be audacious, you must be ready to be disliked. You must be ready for people to say, what's this one talking about? You must be ready to not play safe. You must be ready to not play small. You must be ready to tackle controversial issues, even if that controversy was said by somebody you respect, but you are not going to be rude in responding. You don't even have to mention. That's why I said there is a way to show up intentional signaling. You don't need to call names, but you can give your perspective about issues that you do not align with, without being rude, without pointing fingers, but by making your stand known. Because when people don't know what you value, when people don't know what you stand for, you will miss out on the people who you are attracted to that can work with you, because they will not be able to know, is this person blowing cold? Is this person blowing hot? Nothing pays you by being lukewarm in this industry, because we know the lukewarm man, you already know what happens to them. Okay. So let's go on. I'm seeing people sharing what they want to grow in: audacity, borderlessness, accurate and speedy diagnosis. So let's talk about it some more. So my question for you is, do you want to become the most competent family life professional that the world needs? Do you want to be a Messi of family life? Do you want to be a Ronaldo of family life? Because if you do, it is about having the tools that works. So I'm going to be sharing with us the methodology with which we work with the FSC approach. Thank you, King. Thank you, Ali, for that. So when it comes to the family systems engineering approach, we start our work by troubleshooting. We start our work by doing administering assessments, evaluations that helps us to accurately diagnose, to a large extent, to about 95% accuracy, what is going on. Because if you take family life practice, it's a work of lives. Just like any doctor will be joking with people's lives, if they just come to you and you begin to administer medication, you want to first of all do some lab tests. You want to first of all do some blood work. You want to first of all ask some questions. That is how a family life practice that will produce results should happen. Troubleshooting first. And then from the evaluations that you give, from the assessments you make, from the questionnaires that you give, from the oyela that you administer, you now interpret what may be going on with the person, where the person currently is in their mindset. Do they have some limiting mindsets that need to be addressed? You now interpret, where is the person? So people are having communication issues. And you're saying, you know, you need to talk kindly to your partner. What if the person does not have the capacity to talk kindly? What about teaching the person the skills for kind, compassionate communication? What if the person really wants to make change happen, but they don't have the tools? I was working where I had a consultation call with a couple, and the wife was saying, my husband is not romantic. And the man looked at me and said, madam, I have done all the romance that I know. I've told her, if there's a way you want me to be romantic, tell me. And then I looked at the woman and said, what does romance mean to you? Have you ever communicated to your husband how you want romance shown to you? And she was giggling. And I said, okay, look at your husband and tell him one or two things about how you want romance. And as unbelievable as what I'm about to say next is, the woman said she had never thought about it. She had never thought about what romance means to her, but she has consistently complained that the man is not romantic. How do you hold somebody accountable for what you have not communicated? And so from troubleshooting to interpretation, then you help them build systems. You help them build strategies. If it's communication, they have to build a system around it. If it's their finance, what is the system for the economy? If it's their family domestic issues, they're having issues on roles and responsibilities, you help them build systems. But many a times we just want to give advice without going through this approach. And so when it comes to family systems engineering, this is like a typical framework of what we do in creating results. So what is the goal? The goal is to raise, ultimately, for all of us that are passionate about family, the ultimate goal, whether it is spoken, whether it is unspoken, is to raise a healthy, for us as an institute, is to raise a healthy society. And how do we want to raise a healthy society? How do we want to raise an empowered society? Is that we want to produce competent family life practitioners who assist couples across different cultures. I could be Igbo, but I can work with a thief. I could be Igbo, I can work with an Igala person, irrespective of their culture, because I can help them to integrate their culture. And if we believe that the family is the production center of the society, it means that any change we want to see in society must start from the family. Every advocacy for any better thing, if we are losing sight of the family, we are losing sight of the starting point of any lasting change. Because the politician is from a family, the teacher is from a family, the person who is paying school fees for a child that is yet unborn till whenever is a product of a family. The bully who is slapping somebody is a product of a family. So whatever change we want must start from family. So what we do is that we, first of all, their strategic objectives, we first of all start with the practitioner. The practitioner is able to experience personal wholeness so that they can assist others. Because when you are not whole in yourself, it's going to affect how you show up in the work. And then for the practitioner, they have to master the power of meaning, and they are able to live above stress and external aggression. One thing that you would suffer as a practitioner is compassion fatigue. That you might find yourself being swallowed up by the sad stories of your clients. That you might find yourself getting burnt out, getting stressed out. Many so because we are all just focusing on the end one-on-one work. And when you don't have the tools for speedy diagnosis, that is what drains you. That is what overwhelms you. That is what may even make you become aggressive, because you feel like you are putting in so much and you are getting so little as a reward for it. And then the practitioners are able to also understand how they themselves are engineered and their patterns so that they can become better themselves. Then when it comes to our practitioners working with the clients to help us create that healthy society, we train our practitioners to be able to professionally profile and diagnose clients and then write reports. So you are trained on how to administer the Oyela. What is this person's personality? How is the personality impacting this person? Why is the personality making the person act? What are the growth areas this person needs? What is this person's love language? How is that love language being responded to by their partner? What is the state of their marriage? By the time you administer the marital health check, you begin to see the state of their marriage even without sitting with them. You are able to know if their communication is effective, if they have friendship, if they are enjoying their sex life, if they are not comfortable to express themselves, and all of that. You are also able to find out, are there issues from their past that they have not resolved? So when you administer this, you write your report, and your report is able to show to them where they are. Then secondly, the practitioners are now able, by the time you are able to adequately diagnose what is happening with the client, you know it removes subjectivity. So you are able to move away from subjectivity to a more scientifically based approach. You are not assuming anything. You are not saying, oh, because this man is educated and the woman is uneducated, maybe that is why she's feeling inferior. That is you imagining that, because you did not find out that. But your assessment will help you know what is happening. And then you are able to understand the different personalities and what may be triggering them in their marriage crisis. Because we always say that every marriage crisis is a case of ignorance. It's either the individual is ignorant of themselves, the individual is ignorant of their partner, the individuals are ignorant of the enemies of marriage, or they are ignorant of the building blocks for marriage. Once you fix the ignorance, you have dealt with the marital crisis. So somebody is asking how many pages are the assessment. It's not about how many pages are the assessment, it's how many assessments are in the report. So you have the personality assessment in the report, you have the love language in the report, you have the marital health check in the report, and you have the beliefs compatibility assessment in the report. And if it's for a single preparing for marriage, you have the pre-marriage assessment. So the length of the report will be determined by what the assessment shows. So if, for example, somebody's marriage in the grading is in coma, and the issues that the assessment shows forth, you have to address it. But if another person's marriage is in good, it means that what the report shows as issues is not as much as what is showed in the person in coma. So there is no standard number of pages. It is what the result shows that determines how the pages are. I hope that answers it. Because each person's result is unique based on the findings. So if you're having to deal with communication issue, you're having to deal with vision issue, then it will be mentioned in the result, and that shows the length of your result. So we don't have a static number of pages that the result will be. And so practitioners are able to independently analyze and profess solutions. So when I see, for example, that their marital health check shows that this person may have had a traumatic past, a traumatic childhood, then I'm able to know, okay, one of the things I need to find out from the person is to know where they are at in terms of the trauma. Has it been healed? If it has not been healed, then I'm going to recommend some sessions that will address that. If I find out, for example, that is a couple, and then they do their love language assessment, for example, and then for touch, for example, for the husband is high, based on the assessment, the maximum score you can score in each of the love languages is 30. So if, for example, the husband scores a 27 over 30 in touch, and the wife scores a 10 over 30, then I already know the kind of solution, the recommendations to make based on that. Because I'm not trying to clone the wife to have touch as her #1 love language. However, I'm going to call her attention that the fact that touch is not your preferred is okay, but it's your husband's #1. So it may not be your #1, but you have to make conscious effort to learn how to speak the language of touch because it matters to your husband, even though it's not your preferred. And then even for a couple and somebody is scoring, for example, 10 over 30 in touch, as a practitioner, I'm not saying that it means the person has an issue, but it makes me curious to want to ask more questions, to troubleshoot further. Because touch is one way of showing love and affection. So if the client is scoring 10 over 30 in touch, I want to beam my searchlight. What happened to this person with touch? Was the person raised in a family where they were not so touchy, and so that skill was not built? Has the person been a victim of any kind of abuse, and as such, they have created a disassociation with touch? Because sex and physical touch are valid expressions of love. But I wouldn't have known that if the person didn't take the assessment. So that's why I say that when you diagnose your clients effectively, then you can make tailored recommendations that are aligned with what they are needing because you have data. You have information that helps you to troubleshoot further and even to make recommendations. So the recommendations I'm going to make for a couple who had a troubled childhood, or the couple like I just shared in the love language, is going to be totally different from another couple from their culture who their results are different. Even if they attend the same religious organization and listen to the same message, their unique issues are different and their reports can show that to you and to them. And so when we are able to make independent analysis and propose solutions, we are able to understand the root cause and origin of people's problems. That is the basis of solution. If you don't know the root cause, you will be treating different things. You will be tired on that role. You will spend days and weeks and months in one client because you have not gotten to the roots. But if you get to the roots, then you can create a roadmap of solution that begins to meet all of those issues that were raised from the root cause analysis. And as a practitioner, once you have a case before you, the first thing that you should think about is what could be going on? What could be going on here? What's the root cause of this? Why will somebody get married and get into marriage and become abusive? Where did this abuse come from? Who taught the person abuse? At what point was the love that this person was created in truncated? That's the question you should be asking yourself. And then you are able to have a broader perspective to family life and knowledge gaps. And once you are able to do that, you move to number 4. The practitioner is now able to build a system-based practice, and you are professional in your approach. And like I said, in the beginning, people may misunderstand you, especially if you have been so unprofessional. Somebody calls you up and said, please, can you advise my wife? I want you to advise my wife. And I'm like, okay, when you say advice, what do you mean? Like, I need her to know how to be a wife. I need her to know how to be a wife. And I'm like, could you shed more light on this? And he goes on to talk about it. And I went like, I can hear you and your feelings are valid. From your conversation, it's important to note that, what it takes two to tango. So it's not just about your wife. I will be recommending that both of you should have a consultation call so that you are able to share what is going on. Your wife is able to share hers, and then we can ask questions that gets us to understand what the issues are. And it's like, no, it's not me. It's my wife. She doesn't know how to be a wife. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't give advices. I don't give advice. There's no S. I don't give advice. And the man did not come, but it's okay. Because next time he will know that this is professional. You're not going about giving advice for who you have not done any root cause analysis. So you're going to be more professional in your approach. You're going to be even more professional in showing up. You know, I have a hard time with posts on social media where somebody shares a story and says, this person is asking for advice. What do you advise? Many a times I don't have any comments. And then sometimes people tag me. And when I go there, I just give a general thing and recommend that the person needs to go sit with a professional. Because there's so much more information that is needed to help the person, aside from that one paragraph or 3 paragraphs that is posted on social media. All right, so you have to be more professional. You don't just jump and be speaking and they'll say, oh, send that away, do this, do that. Meanwhile, you've not done a root cause analysis. The wife that the person is saying that, oh, the wife built a house and the husband did not know. And then she was collecting, the husband was paying rent without knowing that the house, and then people come on social media and say, wicked woman, wicked. Do you know her story? Do you know if her grandmother was kicked out of her home? Do you know if she had grown hearing that men do not value? So you can't make an opinion of a case without knowing what is going on here. Why did this person become this way? Because nobody becomes inherently evil without a reason. And this might shock you. Every negative event has an underlying positive intention. And that is where people get it wrong when you're dealing with people who have an addiction. So, for example, when I'm working with people, I was teaching this somewhere. When I'm working with people in infidelity recovery, so somebody has been unfaithful, sexual infidelity, and all of that. One of the things I want to find out from the cheating spouse, what were these relationships serving you? What were the positive gains you were getting from this relationship? And when you ask, they are like, and I'm like, yes, you don't continue doing something if there's nothing you're enjoying from it. Because you cannot unscramble infidelity without replacing those positive gains with a healthy source. And somebody will say something like, oh, the women made me feel needed. They made me feel wanted. That is a positive gain. Everybody wants to feel needed, but he's getting it in a way that is sabotaging the relationship. Now you have to help him find how to validate himself and feel needed in healthier ways. Because if you don't do that, the infidelity will continue. So I'm using that example to say that every negative behavior has an underlying positive intention. And so if you want to change that negative behavior, you must substitute a healthy replacement for that positive gain for the person to successfully leave that habit. As a professional, can you advise even though you have done a root cause? You don't advise. Your work is not to advise. Your work is to make recommendations and to guide your clients through the solutions. Because one of the markers of motivation is autonomy. Your client must feel that they made a choice by themselves. That's why even if somebody is billed for an operation in the hospital and all that, they will still ask you to sign consent form. But the doctor knows that the operation is the best thing for you. But they want your consent to say, I willingly did this, because you have to take responsibility for your action. So when you advise people what to do, you literally told them what to do. So first of all, if something goes bad, they will point fingers at you. That is practitioner Atinuke that said I should do this. Secondly, people do not take intrinsic responsibility of the things that they didn't choose to do by themselves. So you point out the pros and cons of the situations, you make your recommendations. The most you can do is make suggestions and suggest, make recommendations, make suggestions, and put the power back into the person's hands. So based on this, maybe you want to look at this. How does this sit with you? When you think of this situation, what about doing this? Do you think it's something you want to consider? Let them make their choice. Okay? All right. So that is where we are. And again, like we're talking, so you are able to clearly decipher how systems work and how to build counter systems. That's what I gave an example. We're talking about the infidelity issue. There is a system of positive gains that relationship is getting for the person. It's not just to quote scripture. It's not just to say, stop doing this. And I hope we know that the way our brains work, it doesn't have space for negative commands, which is why you see parents fighting with their children. I told him to stop. I told him to stop, and he keeps doing it. Why are you telling him to stop? Tell him what you want him to do, because the brain cannot process negative instructions. So rather you say to your child, stop doing this, rather tell them, do this. That's the instruction that the brain understands. And so every system has to be replaced by a counter superior system. Otherwise, no sustainable change can be created. Then practitioners understand concepts and systems responsible for societal decadence, including errors, assumptions, and culture. This is the framework. So when you sit with your clients, you do your diagnosis, you interpret it, you build systems, and part of your systems is also systems for feed forward, to test how the progress of the client is making. If, like, you know, when you go to hospital, you are taking some medication, and then maybe you feel that you're not recovering. What will the doctor do? Maybe do extra tests, maybe change your medication, maybe recommend something else. That's how the practice works. So don't just get fixated that I did a 3 weeks program with this person, but you didn't solve it. Maybe it's time to check in back to know, was this person truthful enough? Is there information that is vital that they didn't provide? Is there further testing that we need to do? Do I need to tweak my solution framework for them? That's how the system works, okay? And so, like I did say, this is also me now looking at the family systems engineering results model. Like I said earlier, there is a comprehensive assessment to accurately diagnose what the real issues are. Then you have your review session with the client to verify, clarify any challenges they might be having with your professional report. So after having writing the professional report, you have what we call a debriefing session. And at the debriefing session, you are checking in with them to see, okay, this result, this is what, like literally interpreting the results to them. Just like when you go for your comprehensive medical check, you still have a time with your doctor to go through that report, and you're able to ask questions, and they're able to tell you some things. That's what the debriefing does. And then, of course, based on your recommendations, you now have your results coaching sessions with them. Because data has consistently shown that at the root of many marital crises is ignorance of self, leading to a trauma-induced personality, ignorance of spouse, leading to a presentation of a pseudo-personality, ignorance of marriage, ignorance of the building techniques of marriage, often powered by beliefs. That's why beliefs compatibility becomes very important. And ignorance of the marital enemies and how to handle them. Submission factor, relationship chemistry factor, communication factor, friendship factor, external influence factor. Which is why these issues, if dealt with at premarital, will increase the success rate of marriages. And so any premarital preparation that doesn't look at self, doesn't look at spouse, doesn't look at the concept of marriage, and if that concept of marriage is shared by the couple, doesn't teach them building techniques, doesn't look at their beliefs to align it, you didn't do marriage preparation for them. You just came and you were entertaining them and you people were seeing yourselves, because they will go into marriage and these issues will show up. So all marital preparation must address these areas of ignorance for it to be effective. Suliat is saying, is this certification program self-paced or directed? I'm coming to that. I will answer that in a moment. And so even when people are in marriages, it's important for them to create their strategy. And you are coached on how to help people create strategy. Because teams win marriages, teams win matches, and matches that teams win, they must have a strategy. So it starts from the talent. So we use the football as an analogy here, as a metaphor for the FSC Dream Team strategy template. What are the talents of the people? What are their vision? You help them create a vision. You help them elicit their values. You help them list their skills. What skills for marital building do they have? Where are the skill gaps? How are they going to fill the skill gaps? What is their purpose for this marriage? Because once they have a unified purpose, every other thing is secondary. How are they going to continuously develop themselves? It has to be a strategic plan. Because if you as a practitioner is growing by continuous learning, every marriage grows by continuous learning. When people, I'm in seminars, I'm in workshops, and people are saying, Dima, so what's your final word? What do you think is the most important thing for a marriage to continue to thrive? And I say to them, happy marriages do not happen by chance. They are built and enjoyed intentionally by couples who play, who learn and grow together. Because if you stop growing, if you stop learning, that's the day you stop growing. And so couples must have a plan for continuous development. They must have an understanding. They must build their team spirit. They must have a fitness plan. What is our fitness plan? What are our rituals and routines as a couple that can keep us in this marriage? What is our strategy for disagreement? What is our strategy for conflict resolution? What is our strategy for external influence? What is our strategy for money issues? What is our strategy? Strategy around the different things. That's your work to do with them. And who will be our technical crew? Do we need a mentor? For how long would they need the mentor? Do they need a coach? What do they need the coach to do for them? Just helping a family create this strategy, you can charge as much as $250,000 for this work. And this same template can be deployed even outside of marriage when you are doing employee-assisted programs in workplace. Remember, yesterday I talked about the different value chain in the family life industry. And you can use this template and deploy it across these chains as relevant to the issues that is to be addressed. Okay, so let's talk about the family systems engineering course. Like I've been saying all along, the course will help you discover how you were engineered and how to re-engineer yourself to become happy again. You would master how to become a family life practitioner who can solve complex problems with ease. You understand how to use the family systems engineering tools and to accurately deal with marital issues and prepare professional reports. You will learn how to run family life therapy. You will master the business of family life. You will become certified to work with every culture with tools that are globally relevant. And lastly, of course, you will belong to a new tribe of lovers who are working together to create a new continent. And if this is something you desire, let me know. If this is something that you want to experience, if somebody wants to do that, come and tell me, this is me, oh, please tell me, how do I get this? How do I become a member? I'm not seeing anything in the chat room. Should we just close and go? Or are there people who are curious? So Rukayat, Ali, King, and Suliat, who else? All right, Marvelous is saying this is me. So how do I become certified? Fantastic. So let me share the pathway for you. So the almighty question is what I have asked you. What will you do differently to build the family life practice of your dreams and help humanity create long-lasting transformational changes. Our goal is to produce the most competent family life professionals that humanity deserves and to assist them become profitable across the globe within 3 months. And I'll explain what that means. So like Suliat asked, how is the training happening? So the family systems engineering training is run online and is going to span for 12 weeks, which is the 3 months being referred there. The way it runs is that there are, for each of there are modules, lessons that you are supposed to watch. So let me take it step by step. You sign up for FSC, you are signed up to the Learning Academy where you have access to the course. You also get your timetable of how to watch the modules and show up in class. So we have classes every Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. West African time. And so, for example, in week 1, you are supposed to watch the lessons for week 1 before showing up in class so that you are able to follow through with the conversations. So you would watch module 1, the lessons applicable to week 1, you show up in class week 2 like that, okay? So it will run for 12 weeks. Within those 12 weeks, you will immediately, you start the training. The set, our next cohort is in June. Your set, you are divided into groups and you are given a mentor that will mentor you. The way that, and if you, when I share this, you will know that at the heart of the institute is to raise competent people. So your mentor, you have access to your mentor all through the 12 weeks that you are in class. You can ask your questions outside of the review classes on Fridays. Your mentor goes through your assignments, because there are some assignments you will do. Your mentor is there. You and your classmates can share learning time. And that is 3 months and the classwork ends. Then you start your field work. Remember, I did say that we don't just make you a practitioner because you attended class. You have to go into the field to practice. And the good thing is that we have designed what you will do in the field. So you just hand it over to you and go do it. And then when you do your field work, even whilst you are doing your field work, you still have access to your mentor for free for another 3 months. That means that FSC gives you free mentoring for 6 months. I don't know any course that does that at the price that we're selling the course. Because we don't want you to just come to class. We want you to come to class and master it. And so you are watching the modules, you are coming for classes on Fridays, you still have a mentor who is going to hold your hands for 6 months, 3 months while you are in class, 3 months after class at no extra costs. And somebody just maybe clap for the institute. Like we are putting our hearts and our energy where our heart is. Okay, so that's how the course runs. And then after you do that, you show up for your defense. So class is starting June 7th, admin. Tolani, are you there? Tolani, can you hear me? Omotola, can you hear me? Who is in the team that can hear me, please? Okay. So, what is the discount that they have? What's the discount for those who are in class today? And please drop the link in the chat room. Blessing, are you aware of the discount? Okay. All right, so you can lock your slot. The training is at is selling at 400,000, but you can lock your slot with at 100,000. You make 100,000 deposit and lock your slot. Blessing is coming on and she'll share with you what's the discounts for the people who are here. After the June cohort, I think the next cohort is in let me see. The next cohort is in September, and that will be our last cohort for 2024. So the next training is starting in June. After June, the next cohort is in September, and that will be the last cohort for 2024. So thank you for being a good audience. Thank you for your enthusiasm. As the Director of Studies, I look forward to receiving you, as many of you, in class, so that we can continue to learn these tools and produce more competent family life practitioners for humanity. So on this note, thank you, and I hand over to Blessing. So Blessing, please take over from here.
Wow, Madam Director. Time with you, moments with you has always been insightful and transformational. And I know that everyone here today, they've learned a lot and they've understood what it means to master the approach, what it means to master the framework, what it means to be a part of the network. And I tell you, you won't regret this. You certainly will not. No one attends FSC and regrets. Apart from the course, the community, the network, you learn every day. It's like joining a community that every day you have to go on with your notes. So I just added the juicy contents, the availability of support system in the institute is worth the money you're paying can't buy. And I've seen a lot of questions. I just want us to applaud, to appreciate facilitator, the queen of happiness and human flourishing herself, for the beautiful work, the knowledge that you have. She has dished out a lot. At the beginning, I wanted to tell you to ask her questions because she's a bank of knowledge. But at this point in time, she has given you a lot of information that you need to know. And imagine you being in class with her, what you will gain from signing up to this program. And I'll just be sharing. I've seen some questions here that has to do with what you get, the discounts. I want to try and share my screen here. What you want to get, the discounts, and how the benefits for signing up. I just want you to understand that the calendar here is the training calendar, and it's not just about the calendar, but the fact that you have the stream too that is starting this June. I joined June last year, and I want to tell you that I've already gotten value. I've already learned. My confidence as if I want to scale it on a scale of 1 to 100. Okay, let me do 1 to 10. Before I signed on, it was like 3. But after signing up, I want to tell you that my confidence level rose beyond 8, going to 9. You understand what I mean? So being able to sign up, this is the training calendar for the stream too. That is starting June 7th to August 30th. So you have a lot to learn. You have a lot to gain from signing up. And this is the juicy offer. I noticed some questions that was asked about the discount offer. The juicy offer is that the price goes for 500,000, but for the bootcamp deal, you have a one-time payment offer. That is, if you make this one-time payment within 48 hours, instead of paying 500,000, you pay 400,000. It's a one-time payment, and wow, this is so generous. Over 100,000 naira discount just for being a part of this webinar. And apart from that, they also have a bootcamp deal that you can make 100,000 naira deposit and get in at 450,000. You see now, you're not just making a one-time payment, the second deal. So you have both. These are juicy deals that you have here. You either make a one-time payment at the rate of 400,000 naira, or you make it to 100,000 naira deposit payment, and then you get in at the rate of 450,000 naira. So you're having a discount of 50,000, and you only deposit an initial payment of 100,000. What offer could be better than that? This is so juicy. And when I signed up, I didn't have the opportunity of joining the webinar like this to have this discount. But because of the value, the approach, and the framework I heard, just attending the conference, that alone triggered me. And I signed up. I didn't have the opportunity of paying the discount. And here you are, you have the opportunity, you have this discount of 100,000 for a full-time payment. And you also have the second deal of paying 100,000 down payment and getting it at the rate of 450,000 instead of the 500,000. There's no better offer than that. So you enroll in the Family System Engineering Certification course. And I tell you, just the week one will steer you up and you will get into asking, you will be the first, like the framework that the director did that taught you. She talked about your family. You'll be able to assess your family. You'll be able to assess yourself. If you're having healing issues, you yourself you benefit from it before your clients even get to benefit from it. So you get the 12 weeks to sign on. And if you want to learn more about the FSC, our website is ifedacademy.com/FSC. So you can watch the screen. You can screenshot this. And for those that are on WhatsApp, this will be in the WhatsApp group or also. And the Instagram handle is at iFed Academy. And the email is at ekabo@iFed Academy. So you have these platforms to be able to reach out and to find out more, to learn. But I tell you, it is not Dr. Israel did give you some experience, spoke about his experience. And I equally experienced same. So let me just take it back. So in case you didn't get it, so you can get it. The juicy offer is for 500. The offer that is originally 500,000. But for being in this webinar, you are entitled to 100,000 Naira discount if you make your one-time payment within 48 hours. Then the second deal is if you make 100,000 Naira deposit payments and get in at the rate of 450,000 Naira. Wow, isn't this amazing? This is so amazing. So I've seen this, and in the chat box here you have the link. The link is here in the chat box, so you can just click the link. Admin has pasted the link. You can click the link and it will take you to the payment platform whereby you can get this locked in. There is no better time for you to move your passion forward, for you to elevate your passion. I could tell you that I signed up for courses and courses and courses, and not until I signed up for FSC, I never had peace. I had people coming to me, but I felt I didn't have the skill needed. I felt I wasn't competent enough to deliver. But with FSC, the frameworks, the approach, the tools, I was able to take in, be able to do interpretation, to offer strategies, to be able to make recommendations and findings. I was able that after assessing a client, writing a report, I could tell this and this and this is what a client needs to do. And I am confident because I know I have been equipped with the right tools. So that is what you'll be getting from. So is there any comment that you would want to any question you would want the director to answer? But I know she has handled everything. She has done everything you need to. She has given you everything you need. And I want to thank the director. I want to thank the Institute for putting this together. Wow. Every day, we just see that the Institute is a blessing because without even you signing on, they've given you a launching path. So imagine when you have been able to sign up, what you will gain and where you will be. Someone is asking, before I close, someone is asking, is it possible for us to get the curriculum or an insight into what we'll be treating, please? Okay, I'll just take I had stopped sharing my screen. I'll just put it on for just a minute. But the Institute, once you get in or you ask your question in the group, you'll be taught, and you'll be told all of that. Because I remember she okay, I could recall my screen stop sharing. She actually outlined the things you will learn, and there is a whole lot of it. So visit ifedacademy.com/FSC for insight of what you gain from signing on to this program. And I want to appreciate each and every one of you for spending this beautiful 2 days with us. And I know that it's not the same you that signed up. It's not the same you that registered for this webinar that is leaving this webinar. You are leaving this webinar transformed. You are leaving this webinar. Okay, Temi said, when is the next session starting? The next session is starting June 7th, Temi. June 7th, that's when the next session is starting. So it's not the same you who signed up for this webinar that is ending this webinar. I want to appreciate each and every one of you. A warm appreciation from here, from this end, on behalf of the team and of the Institute. I say thank you for staying with us. And we would love to have you join the Academy, because we are out to transform humanity. We are out to help humanity, and coming up and having more hands, having more practitioners who are ready to soar in their practice is what we stand for. We look forward to having you, and the director will be happy to have you in class. So thank you very much for signing on, and I'll be calling it a wrap for tonight.